Hi everyone, welcome back to Mr. Cloudbook channel. So in this particular video, I will gonna discuss about the CI/CD pipeline to deploy a Java-based application on Kubernetes cluster using Jenkins. So we are going to complete three pipelines from the scratch itself. I'm gonna explain everything from the scratch. Okay, first we will gonna discuss about the tools that we use in the CI/CD pipeline. Then we will gonna discuss about the flow, how my CI/CD looks like. Okay, so this is the pipelines we are going to do today. So for the first Petstore app, our developer push the code to GitHub. So once code is pushed to the GitHub repository, our Jenkins will check out the code and first it will compile using the maven and later it will test the code completely and later it will move on to the sonar cube analysis, which is for code quality checks. Okay, so once this is done, you have to build the var file here for the upper application, Java based application. So after building up this application, we are going to use another security check for owasp dependency check. It will checks every dependency for the vulnerabilities in our application. So later on that, we were going to build the Docker image using the Ansible here. Okay, so we are integrating Ansible with this particular in this particular project. Okay, so we are gonna build the image and we are going to tag it the image using the Ansible only. We are going to push the Docker image to the Docker hub using the Ansible playbook itself. Once image is created, we will scan that image using the aqua trivy here, and later on we write a playbook for Kubernetes deployment also. This is the complete project for our first Petstore app. Okay, this is the complete architecture, and you will gonna get this output here. Okay. So this is the final output you will get once this project is done. Okay. The second project we are gonna discuss in this video is .NET web app. Okay. So the metrics, what is the CPU performance, everything. So of our instance, so where we launched this particular project, right? So you will get this output like this. So if you run this particular project on Docker container, you can see this is the output. Looks like we are running in a Docker container. Okay. So if you run this on Kubernetes also, you can see here we deployed this on the Docker container only. So that's why it's saying looks like we are running in Docker container, and in the Kubernetes section it's showing that not running in Kubernetes. Okay, you will get the monitor output like this. So you will get the real-time monitor output like here. Okay, so once you deploy using the Kubernetes also, you can see here we are also running in Kubernetes part. Okay, so we are going to write this pipeline also. Okay, so this is the output for our Kubernetes. Okay, so final app we are going to deploy in our in this video is Python web app. This will also show us the metrics, how our system is running, what is the memory usage, what is the CPU usage, like this. So this is the output for that particular third project. Okay, so everything is same for this particular project. Okay, even the installation and the configuration and every setup, everything is same. All you have to do is change the pipeline only. Okay, so everything is same, but particular second and third project we are gonna use the make for the building the images and tagging the images and pushing the images to our Docker hub. Okay, I will explain everything once this Petstore app is completed. So we will gonna discuss three projects in this complete video. Okay, I will go to my AWS console. So in that I will create a new message to install and configure the tools that which are required for my CI/CD pipeline. And here if you have familiar with any other cloud providers like Azure and GCP, you can go ahead and create a new message on top of that cloud platform also. Okay, so but in my case I am using AWS. And also one more thing to remember, I will be using Ubuntu as my OS image, and whatever the commands, whatever the instruction that I will gonna use it for the installation and for the configuration, so that will only work on Ubuntu. So if you are taking any other OS machines, you need to search for the instructions in the online. Okay, so let me open my blog first. So this is my blog for this particular project. So meanwhile I forgot to explain that this particular project we are using Jenkins on different port. So we are running an application, right? Java based application, so which is running on the Apache container itself by default. So that's why Apache is by default run on 8080 port. That's why we need to change the Jenkins port to 8090. So that's why we are going to use 8090 for this particular project for the Jenkins. Okay, so finally where our application runs on 8080, that's why we are going to use the Jenkins on different port for this particular project. So remember this one. Okay, so I'm gonna explain everything from the scratch, how to install Jenkins and how to change the port and everything from the scratch itself. And if you want to read this blog, you can understand easily. Okay, so let me create a new instances for our project. Okay, click on launch instance. So for the name, you have to use anything you want. I am just going with Jenkins sonar. So why I am using sonar here, I am going to run a container sonar cube itself on the Jenkins machine only. I don't want to take another instance to run a sonar cube. So we are going to use the Docker to run the sonar cube container itself. Okay, so application OS image, you have to take Ubuntu 22.04 here. So select Ubuntu and the quick start, and Amazon Mission image, you are gonna select the 22.04 here. Okay, SSD volume you can see here. So for the instance type, you have to take T2 large here. For Jenkins we need T2 medium, and Sonar Cube we need T2 medium. So that's why we are going to use T2 large here as the T instance type. So select the T2 large, TCPU and 8 GB RAM. Okay, so for the key pair, just select the existing key pair or create a new key pair if you want. Okay, so I'm going with the existing one. For the security group, so you have to open all port for the particular project. If you don't want to come again and update the every port, right? That's why if you want to open all ports, it will work fine. Okay, so I'm going with the all ports, so that's why I'm selecting the existing security group, so which is launch wizard. So I opened all port for the inbound and outbound rules. Okay, configure storage, you have to take 30 GB. Okay, so I'm going to take 30 GB. So we are going to use trivy on this, and we are going to scan, we are going to install every plugin. That's why we need a 30 GB of storage. So let's go and click on advanced details here. So in the down, you have to select the user data. Okay, so you can go to the blog here and you can see. So this is the script to install Jenkins. Okay, just copy this one and come back to your instance and Control V, and this will install your Jenkins on your instance. Just click on launch instance. So it will take 3 minutes to 4 minutes to come up, and because you have to install Jenkins, right, and we have to install Java on the same instance, that's why it will take 2 to 4 minutes to come up. Okay, so let's come back to your instances. So in the blog you can find everything in the code, and its detailed explanation is everything you can see here. So once this is done, all you have to do is if you want to run directly user data, it will works fine. But if you want to create a shell script, and you have to paste these all commands, and you have to provide a executable permission to that particular file, and you have to run this like to install Jenkins. Okay, so by default it will run on 8080, but we are going to change for this particular project to 8090. Okay, so for Sonar Cube we are going to use 9004. So by default Sonar Cube runs on 9000 itself. Okay, so how we can change the port? So by providing all these commands, you have to change the Jenkins file here in the default etc default. So once that is done, you have to change another file for Jenkins service also to change the port to 8080 to 8090. So you have to change two files for the port changing to default to some other port. Okay, for the Jenkins, let's select the instance meanwhile. So click on connect and copy the SSH client here and connect with your mobile extreme or putty. Just shift insert, click on enter. So it will prompt, are you sure want to connect? So you have to provide yes. So just provide yes here and click on enter. It will connect to your instance. So SSH connection is completed and Control L. So let's see the system status first, whether the Jenkins is up and running or not, by providing sudo systemctl status Jenkins. Enter. You can see our Jenkins is active and running, and Control C. So let's go once check the instance is coming or not on 8080 port in the browser. So select the instance, copy the public IP address and open a new tab and Control V and provide 8080. You are gonna see the sign in page of Jenkins here. But we have to change the port to 8090, right, for this particular project. So that's why we have to provide this command. So let's stop the instance first by providing this command. So right click and paste, enter. Let me see the status now. Okay, click on enter. So this is stopped now. Let me control C and control L to clear the screen and change the directory to default, and come back to your mobile extreme, paste the command, and all you have to do is edit this particular file, sudo va jenkins, sorry, Jenkins, enter. So in the HTTP port, you have to change the port to 8090. You can see here, this is the port we are going to change to 8090. So go to the insert mode here and change the port to 8090. You can see I changed it to 8090. Okay. So escape, shift colon WQ to save and exit. Let's come back and go to the another directory to library systemd and system. You have to change the another file for the port changing. So enter. So all you have to change this file, sudo va jenkins.service. Okay, enter. So come down. So you have to change at the environments here. Okay, so you have to change the port here to 8090. Okay, come to insert mode and you have to change the port to 8090. So escape, shift colon and WQ, enter. So just we have to reload the system completely to get the effect. Okay, right click and copy, shift insert enter, and you have to restart the Jenkins. Copy, shift insert enter. So let's see whether it's coming at 8080 or not. Okay, so if you refresh, you will get the error. Yeah, we are getting the error. So that means we are running the Jenkins on different port now. Okay, let's change the port to 8090. Okay, enter. So you can see our Jenkins is starting at the different port now. Okay, so meanwhile let's go and copy this command to get the password of our Jenkins to sign in. Shift insert enter. So this is the password for our Jenkins sign in. Right click, copy, come to browser and paste it here and continue. Click on never. You have to install some suggested plugins here. So click on install suggested plugins. It will gonna install some plugins to our Jenkins machine. Okay, so meanwhile we are going to install Docker and trivy. We are going to run a container for our sonar cube. Okay, so this is done. Okay, you will get this output page for the dashboard for our sonar, so our Jenkins. So let's install Docker. So let's go and install Docker. First of all, go to the home browser, cd home ubuntu, enter, and control L. You have to update the system, sudo apt update, enter. So next install Docker, sudo apt install docker.io-y here, enter. This will install Docker for us. Clear the screen. If you see, you will get the error if I just run directly command, any command, docker ps without sudo. So you will getting the permission denied error, right? So all you have to do is add this particular Ubuntu user to your Docker group. So you have to provide this command to add the particular user to your Docker group, sudo user mode -a capital G. So Docker, which user we want to add, Ubuntu, right? So you have to provide Ubuntu here and click on enter. And if you run this command again, you will get the same error. So all you have to do is to refresh the particular Docker group to change the to take the effect. Okay, so you have to provide this command, new group Docker to take the effect. So if you run again Docker ps, you will see the output. Okay, without any permission denied. So meanwhile, if you want to upload or if you want to push your Docker image to your Docker, you have to set the permissions to docker.socket also by providing this command, sudo chmod 777/var run docker.socket, enter. Okay, so this will set the permissions to everyone, so anyone can push the image to your Docker hub now. Okay, so control L to clear the screen. So let's go and run our container for our sonar cube. Okay, So this is the command to run our SonarCube container. So docker run. So -d it's domain mode. So -- name. You have to provide any name you want provide. So I'm just providing sonar -p. Particularly SonarCube runs on 9000 port. So this is the image name of the SonarCube. This is the official image for our SonarCube, right? So just copy the code, shift insert here, enter. So it will gonna download from the Docker hub and it will run our container for us. So meanwhile, set up Jenkins. You have to create a new admin user. So I don't want to create any user here. So just I'm clicking on skip and continue as admin. So meanwhile, I will explain how to change the admin password also. Okay. So skip. So okay, save and finish and start using Jenkins. If you want to change the admin password, you can change the password. But if you want to create a user, so that's also works fine. Okay. So meanwhile, if you want to change the admin password, you have to click on admin here. Go to the configure section. So come down to the password section here. So in the password section, all you have to click on double tap and provide the new password for your Jenkins admin user. Okay. So double tap and you have to provide the new password, and first you have to click on apply. Okay. So don't click on save first. First click apply and later save. So all you have to remove this one up to port, delete and click on enter. So provide the admin as a username and your password for your admin. Okay. So this is our dashboard for Jenkins. So meanwhile, let's see our Docker. SonarCube is running or not by providing Docker PS to see the container. Okay. So our container is running about a minute ago. Okay. Let's copy the public IP address of your Jenkins. So meanwhile, both are running on the same instance, right? So that's why I'm going to use the same public IP and I'm changing the port to 9000 for our SonarCube and click on enter. So a SonarCube is running. So it will take 1 or 30 seconds to come up. Okay. So all you have to provide the login as the admin here. So username is admin. So everything is small letters only. So and password is also admin, small letters. Okay. Click on login. All you have to change the password here. You have to change the new password. So our old password is admin and new password, tab new password and click on update. Okay. So this is our SonarCube dashboard and this is our Jenkins dashboard. Okay. Both are up and running. So let's go to a blog and see next what we have to do. So I am provided the commands here. So admin and password is also admin here. So and you have to update the new password. So this is the SonarCube dashboard. So we have to install trivy for our image scanning, right? So let's copy this command and come back to your Jenkins machine and Control Alt to clear the screen. You have to provide the command sudo v trivy.sh and enter and come back to insert mode. Copy these comments, right click and paste. Okay. So and you have to do escape, shift colon and WQ to come out. You have to set the executable permissions here for the particular file. So otherwise it won't run for shell script. Okay. Sudo chmod and trivy.sh enter. And if you want to run this particular file, you have to run like this sudo trivy.sh. This will also work fine. So or like this /trivy.sh. This will also install your trivy for you on this particular instance. Okay. After the trivy installation, we have to install some plugins to complete our project. So we need Java and we need SonarCube in order to send our code to our code analysis to our SonarCube, right? So that's why we need the SonarCube and maven plugin. By default, it will install in the suggested plugins. And owasp dependency check. We are going to check the code vulnerabilities, right? That's why we need the owasp dependency check also. Meanwhile, first we have to install the both Java plugin. This is the Java plugin and this is the SonarCube plugin in the Jenkins. Go to the dashboard and click on manage Jenkins here and click on plugins and available plugins and search for the Eclipse here or Temurin, anything will work. So you have to select this one, Eclipse Temurin installer for Java. And the next one we have to search for SonarCube, right? Just provide SonarCube. So you have to install this plugin, SonarCube scanner. Just click on install. Okay. So in the blog you can see, so configure the Java and maven in the global tool configuration. We have to set the tools for our project. So in this particular project we are going to use the JDK 17 and maven 3.60 for the version. Okay, we are going to use these versions, 17 for Java and 3.60 for our maven. Okay, you have to set like this. You can see the image clearly. So we set the version to 17.08 and 3.6.0, and remember the names in the maven 3 here and the JDK 17 here. We have to use these particular names in the pipeline. That's why you have to remember these names. Okay, so maven 3 and the JDK 17. Okay, so let's go back to manage Jenkins. In the tool section we have to set the JDK and maven. So in the JDK installation section you have to click on add JDK and provide name as a JDK 17 and click on install automatically. Add installer, install from Dotnet, and the version you have to select 17.0.8. So come down, you have to select the maven installations here. Just provide the name maven 3. So you have to select the install automatically, and the version is 3.6.0, right? So 3.6.0, apply and save, and go back to blog and see next what is the next step. So create a job. All you have to create a job with the Petstore. So you have to create a new pipeline script here. Go to your manage Jenkins dashboard, new item. So in the name you have to add this like Petstore pipeline and click on OK. So you have to select the discard all builds and set the maximum builds to 3, and just you have to copy this particular script. So what it will do, so pipeline, so we're starting with pipeline and agent is any. Okay, so in the tools section we are already set tools to JDK 7. This is the JDK 17 version name of our Java installations, right? So maven 3.60 provide the name as a maven 3 there. That's why I'm using the particular tools and the names here. If you use any other name other than JDK 17, you have to provide the same name for our Java installation and for the maven installation in the tools section. Okay, so this particular first stage, it will clean the workspace every time you build. Okay, so later on it will check out the code from our Petstore. Okay, so this will compile. So first we are going to maven compilation, right? Later we are in the next stage we are testing the complete code. Okay, so just copy the code and in the Petstore configure pipeline script, just paste here. Okay, so how did we get this particular git? If you want to know that, just click on pipeline syntax. You can directly generate from the pipeline snippet generator. So we have to select the particular git here. Okay, so let me go to my GitHub. So this is Petstore 6. So this is the project we are going to use today. Okay, so this is the master branch we are using, so not on the main branch. Okay, just copy the code, go back to your snippet generator and provide the project URL here, and branch is master here. So if there is a branch is main, you have to change the branch here. Okay, just generate, so it will generate code for you. So all I did was the same here also. Git https Petstore 6, apply and save, and you have to build the code now. So build now. So it will take some time to build, compile and test our code. Okay, so meanwhile we are going to add some other projects. Let me close this GitHub. You will get this stage like this one. So it will take 3 minutes and 1 minute, minimum 5 minutes to complete the first build. Okay, so meanwhile we are going to configure our sonar cube server with Jenkins. Okay, first we need a token for our sonar cube integration with Jenkins. So in order to do that, we have to go to the first sonar cube dashboard, and you have to click on the administration. You have to click on users, and you have to click on update tokens here. Let me go to the sonar cube dashboard here and click on administration. In the security tab you have to click on users, and in the token section just click here and provide the name. So I'm just providing as Jenkins here, and generate and copy this particular token. So this is the token we are going to use integrate with the Jenkins. Just copy this one and go back to your Jenkins dashboard here and click on dashboard. So we have to add this for credential section. Okay, manage Jenkins. So in the security tab you have to click on credentials here and global, add credentials. So you have to select kind as a secret text. Okay, so you have to paste the token here. This is the token for our sonar cube. So just provide the name as a sonar token, copy it and paste as a description also same. Okay, just create. So you can see we created the same token and we added the credentials in the token, in the credential in the Jenkins. Okay, this will, you will get this output. You can see this is the output. Okay, so now go to the dashboard and manage Jenkins and system, and you have to add like this. You have to set where our sonar server is located. So you have to provide the public IP. You have to provide a token in order to check the code. You know, we have to analysis. You have to check the code analysis, right? So that's why we need to tell that particular sonar server is located in this particular IP address. You have to go to there, use this particular token to get into the dashboard and check the code analysis over there. Okay, so that's why we need to go to the system. So manage Jenkins and click on system and come down. Yeah, and under the sonar cube servers, you have to click on add sonar cube and just provide the name as same sonar -server, and you have to paste the sonar cube dashboard IP. So go to the sonar cube dashboard and copy the IP address here. Right click, copy, come back to Jenkins and paste the IP address here and remove the slash here. Okay, and for the authentication token, we already added in the credential section, right? You have to just click on this one and select the token, and all you have to do is just apply and click on save. Till now we configured the system. Okay, we have to set the tool for our sonar configuration to check the code. So meanwhile we have to do that also. Go to the manage Jenkins section. In the tool section we have to set the which version we have to use to check the code analysis. Okay, come down under sonar cube scanner installations, just click on add sonar cube scanner and provide the name as sonar-scanner. Okay, so we are going to use the particular latest version only. Just click on apply and click on save. So meanwhile open this tool. I have to explain the code itself here only. So we have, in the meanwhile we will set the sonar cube quality gate also. Let's go to the sonar cube dashboard. Just close this one, done, and click on configuration here and select webhooks and click on create here and provide the name as a Jenkins, and for the URL we have to copy the public IP address of your Jenkins up to here. Right click, copy, in the sonar cube dashboard provide the URL sonar cube -webhook / okay, you have to provide like this for the quality gate. Just click on create. Up to this part we completed the sonar cube. Okay, so let's go to the code, pipeline code. You have to add like this. You have to add the Jenkins public IP 8090. So for this particular project we are running sonar cube on 8090, right? That's why we are going to provide the port as 8090. If you're running on the same 8080 port, you have to provide the 8080 here. Okay, so this is the pipeline. In the environmental tool, I provide the scanner home under the tool section. So tool, which tool we are using, the tool section here. So what is the name of the sonar cube home here? So sonar scanner. So that's why we are using the sonar scanner home tool as a sonar scanner. If you provide any other name in the tool section in the sonar cube scanner installation, you have to change the name here. Okay, for the sonar server here, we configure it in the systems, like we are configured in the system configuration. Just click on it. So what this particular sonar cube stage tells that, yeah, this our sonar cube server at with sonar cube env. You go to this particular configure system name. You have there you can find the IP address and sonar token for every. So for the sonar cube check and quality analysis, you can go there and just use those credentials and go to the sonar cube and check the code, everything over there. Okay, so in the meanwhile system, so you can see I used the name as a sonar server here. Okay, so that's why in the code here, in the stage with sonar cube env provide the sonar server. Okay, so if you want to generate the code, you can generate from here also. Just click on with sonar cube env at the end. All you have to do is select the credential ID. So if you generate this one, this will also work fine. So meanwhile, what you have to do, you have to provide this particular code in that one. Okay. So all this code, what this code do is, it will scan everything. So this is the pet stop. So I'm just providing as the pet stop. If you want to name it as a pet store, it will all work fine. It will completely scan the code. So we are providing the dsonar Java binary. So where this dot shows that to completely scan everything. This dot. Okay. So this is the project key for just identification purpose only. So this quality get, if this particular sonar cube quality analysis is failed, so this quality get tells that okay, you have to stop the stage till now only. So no need to go to the further itself. That's why we are adding the quality gate also. So for the sonar token, we used the credential over there, right? Sonar token. That's why we are adding the sonar token also. So all you have to do is just copy this one and add under tool section in the pipeline. Go back to manage Jenkins and go to the dashboard and see whether the Petstore app, first build is succeeded. So this is the output, and click on configure to add the sonar cube stage also. Come down and under tools you have to add the environment. Okay, and under the new stage you have to add the other stages for the quality analysis and quality gate. Okay, so copy this, sorry, right click, copy, and under stage just paste the code. This will check the code. So if you want to change the name here, you can change name here also, it will also work fine. So if you want to set this one to pet store, okay, and in the identification also you can just set pet store. Okay, just click on apply here and click on save and just build now. Okay, so this will check the code analysis, everything. So this won't take more time. Okay, so meanwhile we will add the owasp dependency also. Okay, you will see the output like this. This won't take more time. Okay, you can see here the time is up to 2 minutes only completely. So if you once this stage completed, you will see the output like this. It will read the 6.7k lines, how many bugs are in this particular project, everything you can see in this SonarCube dashboard. So let's go and install owasp dependency check plugin also. Go to this one and go to the dashboard and click on manage Jenkins, and you have to select the plugins here and available plugins and search for the owasp here. Okay, and select this one and click on install, and it will install in within the 13 seconds only. Okay, this is done. Come back to manage Jenkins, and in the tools section we have to add the owasp dependency version also for to scan the particular vulnerabilities in our code. We are going to build the maven first because we want to scan the var file also for our particular project. Okay, that's why we are going to first use the maven build in before the owasp dependency check. So let's go to the dependency check installations here and add dependency check. For the name, if you use dp-check, you have to use this in your code for the pipeline. Okay, so install automatically, add installer from github.com, select the version 6.5.1 here. Okay, and you have to do, so let me explain this code also. You can see here, so stage we are first building our var file here, maven clean install d skip true test. Okay, so for the owasp dependency, this code is everything is same. What it will do, it will scan everything in the dot, means it will scan everything in the complete repository. Okay, after the building var file also. Okay, so we are generating the format output in the XML. So where our format where our report is stored at the, in this particular file, our report complete vulnerability scan report will be stored in the particular .xml file here. So we are just providing the name, publish pattern, how to generate the report. So just we are scanning the complete project here, and for the ODC installations I used dp check here. So you can see in the tool section I provided the name as a dp check. Whenever you change any name here, all you have to do is change the name here also, dp check. Okay, so otherwise it will throw error. So this is apply and click on save and copy this particular code and go to the manage Jenkins and go to the dashboard again. Sonar cube analysis also is completed. You can see everything is working fine. Go to the Sonar cube dashboard and click on project here. You can see our Petstore app complete analysis. There are 66 bugs in the code and 6.7k lines it's read. Duplication lines, code smells, everything it's studying. Everything you can find here. If you want to go to the issues, just click on the Petstore here. You can see the complete output also here also. Okay. If you want to see issues, just click on issues here. You will get the issues here. Okay. Meanwhile, I add this another 2 stages also, building the var file and the owasp check also. So I'm not writing anything from the scratch. Every code is just we are building from the pipeline snippet generator. If you want to generate anything, all you have to do from here only. Okay. Let's go to the quality get stage and click on enter and Control V to add the new stages, building the var file, and finally we are just scanning the code for vulnerability scan. Okay, so click on apply and save, and again you have to build the code now. So third build is scheduled now. Okay, so let's go back to our blog and we have to do the next stage. So you will see the output like this for the vulnerability scan. So how many vulnerabilities in our code, everything you can see in the dependency check results. Okay, so we have to build the Docker image, right? That's why we need some Docker plugins also. Let's go and install some plugins. So in the Petstore and click on dashboard and in the manage Jenkins section, so plugins, so available plugins, search for the Docker just. Okay, all you have to do install some plugins. There are 5 plugins to install for Docker. So you have to select this particular Docker and Docker Commons and Docker Pipeline and Docker API and Docker build step, and just click on install. It will take 1 minute to install every plugin here. Okay, you can see. And meanwhile, come back to your manage Jenkins. Let's go back to blog and see what is the next step. Once this is done, you have to add the tool in the tool section. Manage Jenkins, you have to add the tool. So just use the latest version for our Docker building image and pushing your image to your Docker Hub. Okay. Meanwhile, add the Docker Hub username and password in the credential section of Jenkins. Okay. We have to add the Docker Hub username and you have to add the Docker Hub password also. If you not want to add your password, all you have to do is just go to the Docker Hub here, open a new tab, and just go to the Docker Hub and enter and search for Docker Hub container image here. So meanwhile, you have to do is just click on your name here on the username in the top right. Just click on this one and go to the account settings. So in the security tab, left side panel, so click on security. You have to create a new token for your Docker Hub. Just click on new access token here and generate any name you want. So I am using for the Ansible -Docker. Okay, so all I have to do is just generate. Click on generate. Okay, so you have to copy this one. So this will works as a password for your Docker Hub credentials. Okay, so if you want to copy this one and copy, so this will view once only. If you close this one, you can't see any next time. Just copy and close. So if you want to delete this one, just click on this one, click on delete here. Okay, so you can use this particular plugin, this particular token in your Docker Hub credential also. Let me show how to add this one. So first of all, go to the credential section and click on global here and click on add credentials. So you have to select the kind as a username with password here, and username is your Docker Hub username, 7 as a. Okay, so password, you have to add the token, which token you have generated recently. So this is the token I recently generated for our Docker, and provide the ID as Docker, and the description is also for Docker. Just create. Okay, this is how you can add your Docker credentials. So meanwhile, we have to add the tools also. Come back to manage Jenkins in the tools section. So come down under under Docker installations, add Docker and provide the name as Docker here and install automatically. Add installer. So download from docker.com. So you have to use the latest version here. Okay, just click on apply and save. So till now we done everything same for the other projects. So we need Ansible to run our playbook. That's why we need to install Ansible on our Jenkins machine. Let's go back to your UTR mobile extreme. Let's clear the screen. Okay. Meanwhile, I added some comments here in the Git blog. I will provide the blog in the description section. No need to worry about that. You can see here I just explained how to create a new personal access token from the Docker Hub. You have to select the name and click on account settings, and under security you have to click on new access token, and you have to copy and paste in the credential section. And meanwhile save this particular token in your notepad, because we are going to use this particular token for our Ansible playbook to log in and push the image to our Docker Hub. Okay, so otherwise it won't work. So meanwhile add the Ubuntu Ansible in our Jenkins machine. So let's see whether our owasp dependency check is working fine here. Copy this one. Okay, so first update, enter for the Ansible. We are going to update the complete instance. We have to, it will install any update you have found till now. Okay, so this will update the packages. Okay, so next we have to add some packages to install Ansible. So this command, copy this command. So Ctrl L to clear the screen and click on enter, and sudo apt install software properties command, enter. Just provide y, click on enter. So let me clear the screen. We have to add the repository Ansible also. Ansible repository to install Ansible core, Ansible wallet and everything, and under this particular repository. So we have to add the Ansible repository. Just copy this command. Go back to your mobile extreme, shift insert, enter and enter. So this will take some time to install. So meanwhile in the Petstore, I will install Ansible once this complete pipeline completes. Okay, so our owasp dependency check also is completed. If you refresh this page, you will see the dependency check tab in the, you can see here there is a dependency new tab here. So just click on the, so you can see the vulnerability scan of your complete repository here. Okay, so let's go back to our Petstore. Okay, so this is the complete stage till now, the owasp dependency. So meanwhile I want to explain everything here from the completely. I don't want to run the Docker build now. So meanwhile I run this particular app on Docker container and Kubernetes itself in the next build itself only. So that's why we are going to use the Ansible here. So it will take more than 15 minutes to build the image and to push the image to our Docker container. That's why we are going to build this particular app for the Docker container and Kubernetes at the same time itself. That's why we are going to set up the Kubernetes also. Let's go and set up the Ansible and Kubernetes at one time only. Okay, so we already did this one, right? Yeah, that's also completed. And install the Python. Maybe Python is available for us by default. So Python 3. So hyphen version. Yeah, Python is okay, working fine. And I don't want to install Python again. Okay, let's install Ansible. Copy this one and shift insert, enter. So this will install Ansible on your local machine, on the instance. So meanwhile if you want to install Ansible core also, you have to provide this command. Okay, so just copy this one, clear the screen. So Ansible hyphen version, you can see our Ansible is up and running. Or let me see whether the Ansible is coming or not. Sudo /etc Ansible. Okay, so Ansible is coming. So if you want to install core also, just provide this Ansible core command and click on enter. So everything is working fine, and all you have to do is to check the version. We already checked the version Ansible. So we have to create an inventory file our host. Okay, so we have to change the particular to directory to the Ansible. So let me change that one. So cd/etc and Ansible and enter. If you see here, there is a host file here. Okay, you have to edit this file for our local instance. We have to build the image on our local instance itself, right? We are going to run this particular Ansible and the Ansible host itself is our Jenkins machine only. That's why we have to provide the Jenkins IP address here. Okay, so all you have to do is sudo va hosts, enter. So go to the insert mode and click on enter, and in the top you have to open a square brackets just to provide a local and provide the public IP address of your Jenkins machine. Let's go back to our instances and just copy the public IP address of our Jenkins sonar machine. Okay, and paste it here, shift insert and Jenkins IP. Okay, so why I provide this particular IP means we are going to run the Ansible on itself only, on our local system, on our Jenkins only. We don't have any other server or any other slave for to run this particular build. Okay, so for the particular Docker image, that's why we are going to run our Ansible playbook on our system only. That's why we are going to provide our local system IP address here. Okay, meanwhile, let's go back to our dashboard. You can see this is the IP of our Jenkins, save and exist. So I will explain the code first. Okay, meanwhile, okay, so this is okay, works fine. Let me save this one first of all. Escape, click on escape. So keep this one. I'm going to explain this one particularly. That's why I'm going to not saving and exiting from that one. Okay, so let's go and install the Ansible plugin to run the Ansible playbook on our Jenkins. Just go to the manage dashboard, click on manage Jenkins here, and in the plugin section, available plugins, all you have to search for the Ansible here. Okay, so just install this first plugin. Click on this one and click on install, and we have to set this one in the particular tool section. Okay, global credential. First we will add the credential and later on we will set the tool section also. Okay, so meanwhile go to the, so this is installed. Go back to manage Jenkins. So first add the tools, go to the tools section. So come down, so under Ansible installations, click on add Ansible. So provide the name anything you want. I'm just going with Ansible, and path to your executable directory. So where my Ansible is working. So by default Ansible works in at the particular user bin folder only. I will explain that one also. /user/bin. Okay, so apply. So you can see here, let me exit from this one to show you. WQ. So all you have to do is just provide which Ansible here. Okay, so this is the Ansible path executable directory. All you have to do is provide this particular user bin in the tools section here. Okay, just click on apply and click on save. So in order to run the playback, we need to set the SSH connection between our Jenkins and the Ansible. That's why all you have to do is just to click on credentials here and click on global and the add credential section. So you have to select the kind SSH username with private key here. So for the ID, you have to provide the SSH here. So just for SSH connection, we are using this particular credential, right? That's why I'm providing the ID as SSH. And if you want to provide the description, just provide the SSH again and username. So my Ansible is running on Ubuntu, right? That's why I'm providing the Ubuntu here. Sorry, spelling mistake. Ubuntu. Okay. So you have to select the private key. You have to provide your PEM file of this particular instance. Okay, just click on enter directly and click on add. So my particular instance is running on the mumbai.pem here. So you can see key name is Mumbai. So I have to add the mumbai.pem file in the key section. Okay, let's go to the file explorer in the download section. Select the Mumbai, copy the code and close this one and go back to your credential section. All you have to do is just paste the code, complete PEM file here. So what is on which instance your PEM file is running, you have to provide the same PEM file here. Okay, in the private key section, enter directly, you have to provide this one. If you want any passphrase, you have to provide. I don't want any passphrase here, just click on create here. Okay, this is also done. So I already added here. You can see in the private section, select enter directly and add your PEM file here. Okay, and We have to see this which Ansible, and we have to add this in the tool section. We already did that also. Let's go to the Ansible playbook. I'm going to explain Ansible playbook in the GitHub itself. This is the Ansible. In the Ansible directory, I provided the docker.yaml. This will build the Docker file and push it to your Docker hub itself. So you can see this Ansible playbook starts with -name. So what is the first? We are providing the name as Docker build and push. Host is the Docker here. So let me change the host here. Click on edit here and go to your instance connect, and you have to provide sudo va host here, enter. So you used the local here, right? So just copy this one, copy, and come back to your browser, and you have to change the host here. If you use any other name there, you have to use the same name here in the host section. Otherwise it won't connect to your Jenkins with Ansible, and it won't run your playbook. Okay, all you have to do is provide the local here, or if you want to run all, you can directly provide all here. But meanwhile, we are going to build this particular on our Jenkins machine, right? That way you have to provide the local here, so it will install and run the playbook on our local system. That's why we are providing the IP address here. Okay, so that's why I'm using the local here. So I use it local here. That's why in the host section I use it the local here. Next task, task we have to do? First update the package, this particular command. So Ubuntu, right? That's why we are using the apt here. So it will update the every package. Next, build the image. So Docker name. So build a Docker image. So this is the name you have to explain. So for each task it will gonna side heading. It will gonna provide the side head for our image. Okay, so it will build the Docker image. What is the command to build the image? Docker build -t Petstore, right? You have to provide the dot here. So we are going to explain that this particular dot folder. So here there is a Docker file to build our Docker image. So where this particular directory come from? If you have doubt, go to your instance connect, exit from this one, and you have to go to the home and Ubuntu, enter, and Control L, and you have to go to the workspace of your Jenkins. Okay, cd/var library Jenkins workspace, enter. If you provide ls here, this is our Petstore pipeline project, right? So you have to go to the pipeline project, cd Petstore, enter. So if you see ls here, our Docker file is present here. So our Ansible file is here also. Okay, so all you have to do is just copy this particular path. Okay, yeah, sorry, if you just provide the pwd command, so it prints the working directory. Okay, just copy this one, right click and copy, and you have to paste the same path here only. Okay, Control V. So this is the same path you have to paste here, otherwise it won't go to this particular path and build your Docker image. Okay, if you use any other name rather than Petstore here, so you have to change the name here. Okay, so that's why what is the name you are using for your job, you have to go to this particular path, and you have to copy this particular print working directory, and you have to paste that particular directory here. Okay, up to Petstore. If you are using any other name like Petshop, anything, you have to provide that name here. Okay, so all you have to do is paste the particular path to your Docker file. Okay, so next, tagging the image, Docker tag. So what is the name we are building here? So I'm building with a Petstore name, so that's why I'm tagging with my username here. All you have to do in this playbook is change the username here. Okay, you have to change your Docker hub username here, and all you have to do is log into your Docker hub. You have to provide the Docker hub username, and you have to change this one particularly. Okay, delete this one, and provide the personal access token recently you were generated. Okay, let me paste that one. Yeah, this is the token I recently generated, right? Personal access token for our Docker hub. You have to paste the personal access token here, and you have to change the Docker hub username here. Okay, next it will push the Docker image. You have to change the username here, and finally it will run the container to our Docker image that we built with using Ansible. Okay, this is the playbook to run, build the image, to push the image to your Docker hub. All you have to do is paste your personal access token here and change the username here, and you have to change the username here also. here and here and finally here for to push the image to run the container. Okay, you have to change the name here also. If you use any other name rather than local, you have to provide the same names in the host file. Okay, just click on commit changes. Okay. This is for the Docker playbook, sorry, Docker Ansible playbook to build the image. So meanwhile, what we have to do, we have to uh, run this particular project, but we are going to take more time. It will take more time, more than 15 minutes. That's why I'm going to run this particular project with the directly Kubernetes also. If you run this playbook now by adding this particular script in this pipeline, it will also works fine. Okay, so you will get this output like this. And if you go this particular Jenkins IP with the 80801 and Petstore, you will get the output like this. So I want to run the Kubernetes also. First we have to install kubectl our Jenkins machine on our Jenkins machine only. So go back to our Jenkins and cd/home, sorry, and Ubuntu. So if there is no kubectl on your Jenkins machine, kubectl won't apply. Okay, that's why we have to create the kubectl on your Jenkins machine also. Sudo kubectl.sh and paste the commands, enter, and all you have to do is go to the insert mode, and after curl you have to provide -y. Okay, escape, shift colon and wq, and provide the executable permissions for our kubectl.sh and kubectl top. Okay, /kubectl.sh and enter. This will install kubectl on our Jenkins machine. Okay, if you see, you will get the version also at the end of the installation. Okay, so this is done. You can see the client version is 1.28. Okay, so if you want to see, just click on clear and just provide the kubectl version here. Okay, enter. So you will see the version also. Okay, clear the screen. And meanwhile, set up the Kubernetes setup, right? So just go and launch the 2 instances. Click on launch instances. So in the number of instances, take 2. So because we are going to install master setup, master and worker setup for the Kubernetes, that's why we need 2 instances. And in the name section, just to provide the K8s. We will change the names later. So meanwhile, click on Ubuntu here. So meanwhile, Amazon machine image, you have to select the 20.0 for here for this particular project, because I am provided the commands for the 20.04 only, not for 22.04. Okay, select the AMI as a 20.04 here for particularly Kubernetes setup only. So and the instance type, you have to select the T2 medium, and key pair, you have to select the key pair, and go with the all port open. And I'm going with the launch wizard one, and 8 GB is memory is enough for us. Okay, just click on launch instance and come back to our instances. So it will take some time to come up both the instances. So meanwhile, so if you want to run this particular commands on the master node, so it will works. It will set the master and the worker names for our instance. Okay, so you have to do this particular part 2 on both master and worker node, and part 3 only in the master itself. In the worker node you have to do. So I will explain everything clearly, don't worry about that one. Okay, so let's go back to our instances. See, okay, yeah, let's change the names to Kubernetes master and the worker one by one. So if you use the master for here and hyphen worker for the other one. Okay, just click on save, and all you have to do is select this one, copy the SSH client here, master client. So you can see the KS master. Just copy this one and open new tab, right click, duplicate the tab, provide the SSH client here, enter, and right click and duplicate the tab. Okay, so let's go and copy the worker SSH client also. Select the KS worker here and click on connect, and copy the SSH client here for the worker here. You can see worker, copy, and click on S for the master here, and let's go to the instance, third tab, and just provide the worker IP here. Okay, so let's set the name. If you want to set the name, you have to provide this command, sudo hostname ctl set -hostname -master here. Okay, enter. If you provide exec base, it will set the name to KTS master here. You can see the name here. So meanwhile in the top tab, just provide this. Let me close this one also. So control N sudo hostname ctl set -hostname. All you have to do is just provide the name KTS worker, enter, exec base. So you can see this is the KTS worker. You can easily understand. We have to update this one, sudo apt update, enter, and update in the worker also. So for the next commands, what we have to do, we have to install Docker on both the machines. I know the commands, right? That's why I'm not copying any commands here. Let's go to the master mode and clear the screen. Let's install the Docker here. Sudo apt install docker.io-y here, and meanwhile clear the screen and the worker node also. Sudo apt install docker.io-y, enter. So this will install Docker here also. All we have to do is set the user. So all we have to do is add the user to particular instance to Ubuntu group to get the permission, right? You have to add the particular user to your Docker group to not get any denied by anything, and we have to provide the docker.socket also to not get any permission denied on the both machines. Okay, let me clear the screen. So let me add the user, sudo user mode -a capital G docker b ubuntu new group docker here, enter. So if you see docker ps here, you won't get error. So meanwhile provide the permissions to docker.socket also. Run docker.socket, enter. So on the master node it's completed. Let's go on and do it on the worker node also. Sudo user mode -a capital G docker ubuntu, enter, and new group docker and sudo chmod 777/var run docker.socket here, and see this one is getting or not. Yeah, everything fine. So let's go add the repository keys for our Kubernetes installation on the both worker and master. Copy this one and go to the master first and paste the command, enter. Okay, shift enter. Okay, so add the repository key next. Let's copy this one up to end of while. Copy this one and the first do it on the master itself, otherwise you won't get any errors. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, enter. So update the missions now. Sudo apt update, enter, and update this one also to get the repositories for to install our kubectl and kubeadm and everything. Just copy this command to install kubectl, kubeadm on both master and worker node, and later on we will install kubeap server on both machines also. Okay, just paste the command and click on enter, and just paste the command and click on enter. Copy this command and run both master and the worker node. Okay, let me clear the screen of the master and shift insert and enter. Worker, clear the screen, shift insert and enter. It will install the kubeap server. So meanwhile we have to do this particular part 3 on the master node only. So just copy this sudo kubeadm init. So it will initialize and it will generate the new code for the worker to connect it to the master node. So just paste the command and click on enter. It will take 2 minutes to come up everything. So this is done. Our Kubernetes master node is done. Let's copy these commands and run the master node only. So all these commands you have to run on the without root. Okay, right click and paste, enter. and next command, copy it, right click and copy, shift insert, enter. And finally you have to command this one also, sudo ch1, right click, copy, shift insert, enter. So everything is done. Let's add the flannel to get the connection between the master and worker, to set the network between them, bridge. So paste that command here and click on enter. So it will take not more than 10 seconds. Okay, this is done. Let's copy this Kubernetes join command to add this particular node to our master node. Okay, just copy it and go to your worker node and just provide sudo here, otherwise it won't get there. Okay, enter. So if you just enter, it will take just 30 seconds to come up. Okay, so now okay, this is working fine. So let's see on the master. If you just provide the cube sheet here, get nodes here, the both nodes will work. Okay, so this control plan is ready, so it will take just 10 to 30 seconds to come up. Okay, even the worker will come up. Okay, just provide again, so you can see both the master and worker are in the ready state. Okay, so meanwhile what we have to do, we have to set the connection between the Jenkins and the Kubernetes, right? So we have to do is clear the screen. All you have to do cd dot kubeconf. You have to go to the cd particular directory and you have to get this particular config file. Okay, so let's copy this API version now. Okay, and copy it, right click and copy this particular code, and all you have to do is just go to your file explorer in your PC and go to the documents. So create a text file. Okay, so I already created a text file here for the secret file, in the format of secret file. This is the text document. Okay, just click on this one and remove the old code and paste the new code. Okay, just save it and click on enter. Let's go back to your system. So all you have to do is add credentials to add the Kubernetes here. So in the kind you have to select secret file here. So choose file. You have to add the particular file that you have stored for the Kubernetes config file. So I stored at this secret file, right? So now 1148, just copy this one, open here, and for the ID I'm just using K8s, and the description I'm using the K8s here, and click on create here. So our Kubernetes key is also working fine. Let's go back to main and Jenkins. In the plugins section you have to install some Kubernetes plugins also. Let's search for the Kubernetes here. So you have to select this particular one and second one and third one, CLI, provider, and finally pipeline DevOps also. Just click on install. It will take 1 minute to install every plugin. Let's set the connection between the Ansible and this Kubernetes. Okay, in order to deploy this particular Kubernetes file to our from the Jenkins to Kubernetes master, we need to set the configuration between this particular Ansible and the Kubernetes master. Okay, let's create the key pair here, ssh-keygen. So it will generate a key pair here. So enter, enter, enter. So if you go to the cd dot ssh, enter. If you see ls here, you will get the two public keys here. This is the private key, id underscore rs is the private key, and this is the public key, dot pub. So all you have to do is cat id underscore dot pub, enter. So just copy this public key from your Jenkins machine. You have to generate the key at the Jenkins machine only. Okay, so go to your master here. Okay, let me clear the screen first. Clear. So all you have to do is cd dot ssh. You have to change directory to ssh, and if you see ls here, all you have is authorized keys here. Let's go to that file, sudo vi authorized keys, enter. You have to just provide shift A to come to the end. Okay, and click on enter and enter, and paste the copied command, copied public key from the Jenkins master with having the Ansible, right? Just click on escape, shift colon and W key. So let's check the connection between this particular Jenkins and Jenkins Ansible is working with master or not, Kubernetes master or not. Let's come back to home Ubuntu first of all. Ubuntu, enter, and Control Alt to clear the screen. So if you want to check the connection between the master and the Ansible is working fine or not, let's go back to the instances. Copy the Kubernetes master IP address here. If you just generate if you just provide the SSH Ubuntu at the rate of public IP address in the Jenkins machine, you will get the connection between this particular master and the worker. SSH Ubuntu at the rate shift insert public IP address of Kubernetes master. Just enter. You have to provide this here. You can see we are connected to Kubernetes master from our Jenkins machine. Okay. So that means our Ansible and the Kubernetes master configuration is working fine. Let me clear the screen and exit from our master to Jenkins machine. We are back to our Jenkins machine here. Okay. You can see the blog here. So I already completed everything. We added here, we added the Kubernetes files, we added the Kubernetes credentials there, and we generated the key pair, and we cut it and copied it to your Kubernetes master also. If you generate just search Ubuntu public IP address of Kubernetes master, we connected to Kubernetes master also. So all we have to do is create a host file. So we go to the host file, we have to paste this particular Kubernetes master IP address in this one. So like this, you have to paste KITS like this. Okay. So in this one, sudo vi /etc Ansible. Ansible you have to provide like this. So and you have to provide host here and click on insert mode, and all you have to do is come enter and square brackets you have to provide KITS here. Okay, square brackets enter. All you have to do is paste the public IP address of your Kubernetes master here. Okay, so this is the Kubernetes master public IP address. Okay, just click on escape and shift colon and WQ. So let's write the Kubernetes Ansible playbook. Okay, so if you ping this one particularly, copy this one in your from the master Jenkins master, you will get the output, right? So in the green color, if you get the output, this is means the connection between the master and the worker is working fine between the Ansible Jenkins and Kubernetes master. Okay, so working everything fine. So all you have to do is write this particular Kubernetes application to deploy. So you have to start with triple dots name to deploy Kubernetes application. Hosts, we provided the host name as KITS over there. Okay, let's go again and let me show it again. So I'm using the KITS here, right? That's why I'm using the hosts as a KITS here. If you use any other name there, you have to provide the same name here. So gather facts, yes. So task, I have name, copy the deployment YAML file to Kubernetes master. We are copying the Kubernetes deployment file from the where we have file where lib Jenkins workspace Ansible. We have to change this particular part because our project at the Petstore, right? Let me go back to explain everything. Escape. WQ. So cd where libraries Jenkins workspace, and finally we have to go to the Petstore here. Okay, enter. If you provide ls here, you can see our deployment YAML file is here. All you have to do is copy this particular path to where lib Jenkins. Copy this one. Okay, right click, copy this one, and you have to change this particular source path. Okay, and you have to destination home Ubuntu. This is works fine. All you have to do is just provide this particular command. Let's go to the Petstore and Ansible. So I have provided the same key here and come back to Ansible and Kubernetes YAML file. If you again and again, you have to first delete the deployment, right? If you use the same deployment, that's why it throws error. That way I am using the same file here. Let me add this another file for this particular project. Add file, create a new file. So this will also work fine. Okay, no need to worry about that. Just let me copy that one from the here. I will change it. Let me change this particular path. You have to change this path only. So Windows V and this one. Okay, deployment.yaml, everything is the same. Okay, so just provide name as dot yaml. Okay, commit changes. Okay, let's go back to your pipeline. Manage Jenkins dashboard. Click on Petstore here. So we ran the third build. Okay, so now we have to add the other two stages here. Okay, let's go and copy the other two stages. I will explain everything. How did you get this particular code to install stages? Okay, let me copy this one first. Go to your Petstore and click on configure. So all you have to do is first our Ansible playbooks inside the Petstore 6, right? So we are at the Petstore 6. So we have to first change the directory to Ansible. So click on Ansible. All you have to do is run this particular docker.yaml and kube.yaml to run the Docker container and to run the Kubernetes cluster also. Okay. Meanwhile, Petstore. Let's come back. And in the stage, click on and Control V. So I first changed the directory. You can see directly change it to Ansible and next script. To run the Ansible playbook, all you have to use this particular path. So how did you write this particular path? So let me change this one. So our name, you have to provide the same name here. So I provided the docker.yaml here, right? That's why you have to provide the docker.yaml here. I will provide the complete pipeline script over there. Don't worry about that. You have to provide the same, just apply it one. And let me generate this one. All you have to do is just click on this one. Okay, let me refresh this one. We install the later, right? Ansible plugin. So now in this sample step, you have to select the Ansible playbook invoke here. So Ansible tool is Ansible, and you have to provide the Ansible file path here. Okay, path of the workspace here. What is the path for my file? That is the docker.yaml, right? My file name for the Ansible playbook of our Docker build and push. So inventory file. Our inventory file is at etc Ansible. So this is the path, Ansible path for our host file. That's why I'm providing the etc Ansible here. So and SSH connection. We already provided the Ubuntu SSH, and you have to select. If you want self use become, you can select. All you have to do is disable SSH host key, and if you want just generate. So this is the same file. I'm just added the at here Ansible playbook credential.sh and disable host key, everything Ansible installation, and inventory file is etc Ansible and docker.yaml. Okay, so for the same file Kubernetes deployment also, let me change it. Change the name, stage name. Let me write, otherwise it will throw error. Ansible playbook Docker here, and in the stage section, new stage, we have to add the final stage for our Kubernetes deployment also. It takes more than 15 minutes. That's why I'm adding the same stages at the same time. I don't want to make the length video more length. Okay, so let's copy this one. Sorry, and go to the Petstore here and Control V again, and everything is same. You have to change the name here. So I want to run this particular Ansible name as a cube.yaml, right? So you have to change the name to cube.yaml here. So nothing to change anything. Okay, just apply and save. And if you build now, you can see the output. So it's deploy on the container itself using the Ansible playbook only, and we are using the Ansible playbook to deploy on the Kubernetes itself. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, I forgot to add the trivy image also. Okay. No need to worry about that. If you want to add that one also, you can directly add the trivy image scan here. Okay. I forgot to add here maybe. So let me add that code also. It will also work fine. Nothing to worry about that. Okay. I will add that particular trivy.sh also. It's take more than 15 minutes to complete the complete build. That's why I'm going to use the same Docker build and Kubernetes build in the same build only. I don't want to make the video more length. So if you run the Docker build again first time, it will take 15 minutes. If you later on, if you run the Kubernetes setup and if you've done everything, if you again build the same build, it will take another 15 minutes. That's why I'm going to use the same build for the Kubernetes deployment and the Docker deployment itself. You can see our Ansible playbook Docker is started here, right? So let's go to the console output to see so how the Ansible playbook is running. So click on the tab and click on console output. So let's go to the end. So you can see our playbook runs like this only, right? So it's building the Docker image. It will take 15 minutes. That's why I'm going to run the Kubernetes and the Docker container itself on the same build. So meanwhile, let's go to the our other projects, right? So we are going the second project as a .NET project, right? So let's go to the my repositories and click on repositories. I don't want to waste your time. That's why I'm going to do the 3 pipelines in the single video itself only. So first net we're using this .NET monitoring app here. So this particular repository, we already defined the make file to build our Docker image. So we are going to just make image to build the Docker image and tag it the Docker image using the particular one only. So we use the make image. In order, meanwhile we use Docker image to build your image, right? Docker build -t and the image you want to build, and you have to provide the particular path to build the Docker file, right? So in the meanwhile, we already provided the make file here. So if you want to build the image, you just provide the make image command rather than the Docker build command to build this image. So if you want to push the image, you will use we will use Docker push to our Docker username, everything, right? So but particular this .NET monitoring and Python monitoring, we are using the make file. So that's why we are using the make image and make push to build the image and to pull the to push the image. Okay, so you can see here in the make file and last one under readme.md. If you go to the readme.md file, to the make file in the .NET monitoring, all you have to do is change this particular username here. Okay, you have to change the name here, and you can see here in the image format. In the image, we already build the particular backend code to build the image and to tag the image. Okay, so in the push command, you can see here we already wrote the backend command to push the image. So all we have to do is just use make push and make image, then Docker build and Docker push commands. Okay, all what we have to do is just if we provide make image, what it will do, it will go backend and it will build your Docker image and it will tag the image. Okay, if you run the make push command, it will automatically push the image to your Docker hub. Okay, so that is the use of this particular make file. Okay, so all you have to do is just change the username here. Okay, and if you have to use the Docker image here and the Docker push here, so it will automatically go back and they will build the image and they will push the image to your Docker hub. That's why in the particular pipeline I am using the make image and make push here, so rather than Docker build and Docker push commands. Okay, so you can see that also. Let me open my blog here. So this is the blog for our .NET web app here. So click on it. Let's come down. So everything is same. You don't have to change anything here. So everything is same. I'm just using 8080 port. Meanwhile, we are running on this particular project on 8090, right? So we don't want to change anything here. So let's go. All we have to do is just set the JDK version to 17 only. So remaining everything is same. Okay. So DP check and the code and everything is same with the before project only. So this is the project we have to run. So pipeline, all we have to set is tools to JDK 17th version only. So environment tool is same and the workspace, clean workspace is same, and checkout code is different. Okay, so we have to change the URL here. So you can build it directly, go to the pipeline syntax and you have to select the git here. So in the sample step you have to select the git. Select git here and provide the URL and provide the branch, and you will generate and replace with this particular code. Okay, so later on it will do the sonar cube analysis is same, and quality gate is same for this one, and file scan. So file scan is same, and owasp dependency check. This is also same with the before project only. That's why I don't want to waste your time. So that's why I'm going to add this particular project. So you will get the output like this. So all you have to do is just install this particular command in your Jenkins machine. Let's go back to your Jenkins machine here and just paste the command, and it will install the make here. Okay. If you want to see the make version here, let me click on enter. So meanwhile, let's go and see whether our Petstore is running or not. It's running fine. So okay, it takes some time to stop. It's restarting every service here. So I don't want to stop this particular project. Okay. So let me reduce the screen size also. So Ansible playbook. Let me see the version here. Make -v you have to provide. So this is the make version here. So it will automatically build image. So because we wrote the make file in the uh, Docker hub itself. Okay, sorry, in the GitHub itself. So that's why it's automatically whenever we push the image, just we have to provide the make space push command. It will push the image. Backend we are providing the exact command what we have to do. Okay. So this is the project. Okay, so all you have to do is just you have to provide the make image here. So we are building and tagging the image. If you want to tag the image, what do? We will we are going to use docker build -t, right? But particular make file use case, we are using the make image. So what it will do, it will go to this particular file and check what this image particular environment variable doing. So it will go to the backend. It will doing this one. Okay, we are going to build the image. So using the make image. Okay, now we will scan the image and we will push the image. And finally, we are going to docker run command to run the container. And finally, this is the output you will get once you deploy to your container. So you can see not running in your Kubernetes. So if you set up the Kubernetes setup, so you will see the output like this with Kubernetes kubectl apply. So nothing you have to change. All you have to do is just copy paste this particular command. Okay, let me go to the my I have already wrote the pipeline here, complete pipeline. So this is the same file we are using in the I provided there. Okay, so I provide everything here only. No need to worry about that. .NET module. Just Control Alt and Control C. We are deploying to Kubernetes also. Okay. Let me create a new pipeline here. So it's working fine. It's taking so much time to run this particular one. Let's go to the dashboard first of all. Yeah, it stopped. Let me go to the admin and provide the command. Let's see whether our Petstore is running or not. Yeah, it's running fine. So click on new item. Let me provide the name as .NET. Yeah, .NET here, and select the pipeline and click on OK. And the Discord builds set to maximum builds to 3. And just paste the script here. Nothing you have to do, just apply and save. It won't take more than 3 to 4 minutes. It will completely build your complete pipeline within the 3 minutes only. Oh, sorry, there is an error. What is the error? Console output. Okay, .NET. Sorry. Oh, I copied the wrong file also. I mean, you can see here I copied with the full KS everything. So that's why it's throwing error. Let me copy the pipeline only. Copy. Let's go and change this one. So apply, save. So now it will work fine. It won't get any error. Last time I copied with this one also with the full KS. That's why it's getting error. So 2 pipelines it's copied. Okay. So you can see now it's building fine without any error. Meanwhile, go to the dashboard. So .NET is running fine, and Petstore is also running fine here. So it's taking 13 minutes 54 seconds, right? So in 1 or 2 minutes, it will completely deploy to your Kubernetes. You can see console output also. So how it's going to build your Ansible playbook also. Execution is failed. So building the Docker execution is failed. Maybe once Docker restarted, right? Maybe that's the build. Okay, no need to worry about that. So our build is running fine. No need to worry about that. If you want to see the output, you will get the output like this. So just run the pipelines one after one. So After we are installing the make, it will restarting every service. That's why what you have to do, you have to replace everything. Okay, all you have to do is just complete this first project, and once this is done, you will do the second and third projects. Okay, otherwise you won't get any errors. So you will get the output like this once you have to done. Let me go to the Docker. So you will get the output like this. It's pushing the image, running the container, everything. Okay, go to the Petstore. It's taking more than 15 minutes 24 seconds. So click on dashboard, and you can see our .NET app is completed. It would not take more than 10 minutes also, 5 minutes also. Okay, so let's go and copy the public IP address of your Kubernetes. Not first of all, you have to copy the Jenkins sonar public IP address, because our container runs on the Jenkins machine only. Just copy this one and open a new tab and paste this one with 5000. So our container runs on 5000 only. Just 5000, provide 5000. So you can see our .NET app is running, working fine. If you go to the info, you can see we are running the container on container, right? That's why it's saying that we are running in container, so not running in the Kubernetes. Okay, let's go to your Kubernetes master here and cd/home. Otherwise you have to provide the double dot, enter. So if you provide the kubectl get all here, sorry, enter. So you will get the IP address here 31.537. Let's go and copy. So if you monitor here, you can see the output also. So it will take 1 to 2 seconds. Yeah, it's monitoring everything. So let's copy the Kubernetes worker also, worker IP. So copy the worker IP and open a new tab and paste it with the column 31.537. It's working, I think. Yeah, you can see our .NET web app is coming. So if you go to the info, you can see we are also running in Kubernetes pod. If you run on the Kubernetes pod, you will get the output like this. So we use it the 4 GB, right, RAM and 2 CPU. So that's why it's saying 2 CPU and everything. If you go to the monitor, you will get the real-time monitoring also. So processor load, what is the work set here, so everything. So both these works will fine. Okay, so .NET app. So processor load on Kubernetes works different. Then you can see it's not working any processor here. Processor load is nothing at your Kubernetes. I mean Jenkins. So if you see that Kubernetes working different way. Okay, working set is different. So all you have to do is you have to stop this particular project. Go to the .NET here, dashboard. Let me remove this particular one. Go to the configure. All you have to do is just stop this deployment. Okay, to stop this particular container. Using the pipeline only, we are going to do start and stop everything. Okay, so let's go to here and just remove this particular code. I'll provide every code. Just remove this Docker content up to this particular Docker push. Okay, so let's remove this also. Let's increase the size first of all. Okay, so let's remove this one. Yeah, we have to Docker stop Python 1. We are using the Python 1 as a name for our run, so that's why I'm using Docker rm Python 1. If you have doubt which container name you are running, so just go to your Jenkins machine and just provide the Docker ps here. Okay, so you can see we are running with the Python 1 name. That's why I want to stop this one and remove this one. So that's why I'm providing Docker stop Python 1 and rm remove the Python. So you have to just remove the apply and just provide the delete here. Okay, and click on apply and save, and you have to build now. So it will remove this particular container and it will remove the .NET Kubernetes cluster also, deployment also, you can see. So let's go to the .NET here. So it's done. If you refresh this page, you won't get any output. So you will get the error. So both the pages you will get the error. So because our deployment also is executed. So if you go to the master node to see the .NET deployment, provide the kubectl get all, won't get any output here. So like this. So because we stopped that one. Okay. Go to the particular .NET app. So we removed everything. Go to the dashboard, and still Petstore is running. Let me stop this one and run again. So because our I want about this one, it won't take more than 20 minutes. Okay. So about that. Okay. So let me see whether any container is running or not. So let's provide Docker TS here. Yeah, only sonar is running, and build it again. So our Jenkins is stopped because we used the make command to install, right? That's why it's stopping. So all you have to do is just stop. It won't take more than 15 minutes. It's taking more than 20 minutes. It won't work until and the end. So that's why I'm stopping that particular build, and I'm starting the new build here. Okay. So meanwhile, go to the dashboard and complete the final project. So that is the Python one. So if you go to the DevSecOps in the blog itself, so you can see the our Python project web app also here. Just click on Python web app. So this is the Python blog. I am going to provide every blog in the description itself. All you have to do is just go to the end of the file. You will get the output like this for this one. Okay. So we are running this particularly on the Kubernetes. So I mean on the container only. I don't want to run this particular one on the Kubernetes itself. So here we are using the same make image and make push and the make image. It will build the image and it will tag the image. It will push the image to your Docker hub. Okay. If you want to see the in make file also, go to the Ajay and repositories and click on Python system monitoring here. If you want to set any other name, you can set the name. All you have to do is the change the make file name only. You have to change the name here, save as to some other name. Okay. So if you see image, what it will do, it will at the backend it will building the image and tagging the image. So if you see the push, you can see you are pushing the image here, Docker push. Okay. So same the .NET and Python web page same, but the output is different. Okay. Let me copy this one completely. And JDK 17 and everything is same. Nothing you have to do. So in the one video, we are doing the 3 different projects. Okay. Let's go to the dashboard and click on new item. Click on Python here, Python web app or anything monitoring whatever is just pipeline. Click on OK. Click on pipeline script and paste the code to run our Python web app. Okay, so let's build this one. Apply and save and build now. So it won't take more than 2 to 3 minutes only. It will also run this completely within the 5 minutes. Complete build is complete within the 5 minutes only. So sorry, all the time is taking only at this particular Petstore only. So it take more than 15 minutes. That's why I'm going to take to run the particular other projects. Okay. So if you see the Python monitoring, you can directly go to the final stage here. We are building the image, tagging the image. So if you see, we are scanning the images also within the 3 minutes only. So that's why I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to run the 3 different pipelines at the same time itself. Okay. So our push is also completed. You can see it's completes within, yeah, this is working fine. So Docker push. So you can see completing deployed to container is also done. So if you just refresh this one, you will see the Python web app output here on the container itself. Okay. So if you click on monitor here, you will see the performance monitor here. So what is the memory usage and what is the CPU usage of our Jenkins instance. Okay. This is the output of your Python web app. So I am not running this on the Kubernetes. Okay. So I'm just running on this one container only. Okay. So this is the memory usage of our Jenkins machine till now, and the CPU usage is increasing for the every 3 seconds it will update this one. Okay. So these are the 2 projects we are doing, right? Python web app is done and .NET web app is also completed. If you see the info here, we are running the 8 CPUs, right? So you can see 8 GB, 67.2% is used, and processor is 2 CPU and Python version which is running. Let me directly go and stop from here only. I don't want to go to there. And Docker stop Python 1, enter. and Docker remove here, enter. Okay, so if you just go and refresh this particular page, it won't come, it will throw again an error. So because we stopped this one, so let's go back to your Python final Petstore app. Okay, so let's go to the dashboard again and Petstore app. So all you have to do is it will run this particular second one third project after completing of this project only. So if you run this particular project in between your first project, so it will stop between this one like this. You will get this about it. Okay, so let's go to the console. So it's 12 minutes now, it's working fine. Let's see whether it's building or not our image. So console output to see the Ansible playbook is working or fine or not. So let's go down. So it's building image. So building the Docker image, it's taking only 15 minutes. Okay, so that's why all you have to do is run the particular project first, and later on you run the other two projects. Okay, so login, the building image is completed and tagging the image is completed, and login to the Docker hub is completed, and the pushing is the Docker image. So task, what is the image? So to push the image to your Docker hub. So now it's working. So our everything is done, but it's taken up to 15 minutes to build the image, to tag the image, to log into your Docker hub and pushing the image to your Docker hub. Okay, yeah, this is done. And finally you can see our container is also is completed, everything is fine. Okay, and finally you can see deploying on the Kubernetes. Okay, so deploy to Kubernetes, gathering facts, and copy to deployment.yaml to Kubernetes master, apply. So everything is okay, so succeeded. So our project is done. Okay, so if you see the output here, you will, it will show to completely 15 minutes, definitely 15 minutes. Okay, you can see it's taken 15 minutes to build and deploy to container. So if you refresh this page, you will see the output here. Okay, let me remove this monitor here. Okay, enter. Okay, sorry, you have to provide the 808081. Sorry, maybe slash /Petstore also to get the output. Okay, enter. So it's take 1 minute to come up. Okay, yeah, this is the output of your Petstore. Click on enter the store, and you can buy anything you want to click. If you want buy dog, you have to buy, click on dogs, and you have to click on this product ID. So you have to add the call. So if you want to proceed to checkout, you can proceed to checkout. You have to sign in, you can create the account here, click on the register now, everything works fine. Let's see whether this app is working on the Kubernetes or not. Okay, let's see the Kubernetes master and provide the kubectl get all. Okay, so our app is running, works fine here on the 32,586. Just copy this one, and we already have the IP address of your slave. Just paste that one and slash /Petstore. Okay, so this is the output of our Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so this is the output of your Docker container. Okay, so enter the store. Yeah, if you want to buy the parrots, so click on parrots, Amazon parrot and flinch, everything, anything you want to buy. So this is the app we are going to, so this is the app we are going to deploy using the CI/CD and Ansible. Okay, so I hope this video is useful for you and the completed 3 projects in the single video itself. Please like the video, and I'm asking to you just follow my blog. I upload every blog before the video itself. Okay, so thanks for watching the video and keep on supporting to the Mr. Cloudbook channel.